morning, Vietnam. Actually, good morning and welcome to day 27. It's either 26 or 27, but I believe it is day 27. We got Kaylee out here and I'm just getting started. It's 11 minutes after 12 according to what my clock is saying there. I didn't get out of bed this morning until a little after 10. My body crashed and I slept and got almost 12 hours sleep last night. Felt good, but I could still use a couple of more hours. I still feel kind of groggy. But we're getting a late start outside. I did do a project downstairs that needed to be done. And I'll show you that as soon as we get up to the front porch, provided we get out of the truck. And Katie wants out of the truck. It's like, okay, I've done my job. It's hot in here. Let's get out. And we've got a beautiful fall day. We've had the last week and a half low to mid 60s. Come on, Kay. Get your toy in. Come on. House. Get in there, house. There we go. In she scampers. Yesterday we finished stage 3, getting all the AC in. So today we move on to stage 4. And stage 4 is literally bringing the haunt alive set by set by set. And it's low voltage. Anything that takes low voltage, anything from lighting to control boards to pneumatics, what have you, will be getting put together set by set by set. And we're going to be starting not with a photo op, but what we call the front end, and that's the pillars need LED lighting. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. We have a local lady that lives over about a block, walks her dog all the time. We've never really talked to her. And she walked by and I had Katie, I tried to put Katie when we ended up standing here talking for about 10-15 minutes. But we were covering what we were going to work on. We're going to start out front here. I've got a 6 LED flood. I need to do an upshot on the skeleton, so each skeleton will get that. We've got 2 LEDs that hang down to hit the plaque on each pillar. I've got to get the Make-A-Wish sign out. We've got 2 white floods that aim up at that. But our first order of business is going to be the hour sign and the rules sign, and we're got to get those wired so they so we can turn them on at night. It's getting to the point where we're getting a lot of people at night driving by, you know, and with the hour sign not lit up, they have to stop and get out and look. Just easier if it's lit up. But if we can get the front end done, then we'll move into, you're locking the gate, this section, which is the entrance hall. I need to put some lights up for the witch. I've got a control board for the witch that needs to get put in, and then I'll probably attach another light here. We have a curtain, and this hallway right down through here is always kind of dark, so we'll put a flood here just kind of lighting the path. And then we'll move into Gypsy and just start doing Gypsy. You know, getting it all wired up with its control boards, its lighting, and everything. We'll just go through the whole haunt, set by set by set. And as I get my wiring done inside here, like with the Gypsy, once the wiring's done, I'll get the hay in, and before I seal up the display, Sue Ann will get out here and she'll do whatever last minute thing she needs to do in there. And then I'll get the fences secured off, and that display will be set and ready to go for public. I'll do the same thing with Spider and Pirate and so on as we work through the haunt. Now on things like the Spider room, it's going to be a 2-prong attack. I've got to go through there, get all my aerial stuff done, and then I got to drop wires down onto the ground to hook up control boards and the pneumatics. And then I will have some lighting that we'll need to attach to the fencing to aim, you know, do upshots at certain things. The stuff on the fencing I won't be able to do until the fencing is mounted in place. But I can drop my wiring down the wall and just leave it kind of pooled up on one end of the fence. So when the fence is in, I can come in and do that sort of lighting. Reason why I won't be putting the fence up right away, especially in the spider, is because Sue Ann has cobwebbing to do in there. And she can't do any cobwebbing until I get all my aerial stuff in. So, as soon as my aerial stuff's in, she can come out here, cobweb it, then I can put the fence panel up, connect up the last of the lighting, and then go from there. And there are several areas in the haunt where she wants to cobweb, but she's waiting on me to get my wiring done. Also, we had a windstorm. I was going to have Morgan come out and do a garbage sweep. Told her about that last night, that I was going to need her out here to do it. Well, she's going to have to do some sweeping too. She doesn't know about that. But this morning, when I got up, I had forgotten. If you remember right, last year we had some vandalism on October 31st. They had me really upset. It was to the point where I wasn't even going to do the haunt anymore. I was just going to retire and shut it down. Because it ended up being almost $2,000 in damage. And when I took down the haunt, this is all my LEDs. My spots and my 6 LED floods are in this one. My larger Haunted Treasure stuff are in different tubs downstairs, and I'll grab those as I need them. But when I took down the haunt, I just dumped everything in the container, put the container away. Normally, once I'm done taking down the haunt, I'll sit down, I'll sort out all the lights, and each bag, like these here, are flickering blue spots, and I'll sort them out. That way, when I'm hanging the lights, I just grab a bag. Okay, I need a couple of orange, I need a couple of green, a couple of blue, and I'm not sitting there having to dig through a mess trying to find the lights I want. Everything's pre-packaged, and I can just grab and go. I spent almost an hour this morning going through pre-packaging things. Fun, fun, fun. But anyway, I need to get going. Like I said, we're getting a little bit later start today, so I don't know how long the vlog is going to be. You will have some nighttime footage of whatever I can get lit up today. So that is coming. And Kaylee is restless. She's keeping a very close eye on me, and as you can see, hopefully, because I can't see the screen very good. Yeah, you can see her tail wiggling back there. She's wanting to do more. Huh? You want to do a lot more. Yeah, you do. So, breakfast of the day, homemade banana raisin bread with butter warmed up. Had a couple slices of that. Sue Ann made some of that this morning while I was asleep. That was my breakfast of the day, that and a Coke. So there you go for that. Now, let's see what we can bring alive in the haunt. Sue Ann's just starting dinner, and it's going to be a quick dinner for her to cook, I hope, because I'm hungry. I have not eaten all day. But I haven't shot anything since the opening this morning. So yeah, I better give you something. You're definitely going to have a nighttime view. I just got done with this. As you can see, there's a red flood there. And I got 3 red floods on the witch. All the lights still need to be aimed. This one will be aimed down here at the corner, because this corner is really, really dark with the curtain up. You can't see any light through it. And then, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get the gates open and couldn't manage the camera, the lock, and my keys. So I had to turn you off and set you down. But the rule sign there and the hours sign both have power. Those were the first projects I did today, which were fairly simple and quick. I just run one power line out and then split off to go to both signs. The other one were the skeletons, and you should be able to see a blue glow right in here. That's from the light. I put red floods down to aim down below, and then the candles are twinkling. And I got one skeleton with an eye out, and I might put a patch over it. But all the skeletons, excuse me, are wired and ready to go. I just need to get out here and get lights and stuff aimed. And then as far as the hour sign and the rule sign, I got to bring the remote out and get the colors set. They have the RGB light strips in there. And we normally do a light blue, almost a sky blue, or a white in there to show off the signs so they're more noticeable. And I haven't gotten those set yet, but they will. Other than that, I'm pretty much done with entrance, which is from the gates to where the curtain is, except for the witch. You see the cord laying down there? That's the cord that goes to the control box, which will trip her, make her go. I've got to get the box out here and run another power line just for the box so I can get her working. I'm hoping to get that done before dinner or just shortly after dinner, and then we can move into the graveyard. Not graveyard, but gypsy, and get that done. Now Morgan, Wendy, I'm trying to close the gate. Morgan was out here for about 2 hours, almost 3. She went through, swept out the driveway all the way back to the patio and in through the haunt. Did some raking, did some garbage sweep and what have you, picking up all the leaves and junk from the windstorm we had last night, early this morning. And of course, about a half hour after she gets done, what happens? The wind comes back and we're getting more stuff blown in. She was exhausted though, but she did good. She ended up with 3 garbage cans full of leaves and zip ties and miscellaneous detritus all over the ground. But so she did some work out here. Sue Ann came out and put eyeballs in the dummies in the gypsy and got some jewelry on them. But anyway, we're making progress out here. I was hoping to be in the gypsy by now, but with getting up late, I didn't get out here as early, or I would be in the... Alright guys, so I'll give you a night look. I was just out here getting the control board for the witch in and aiming lights. I got Kaylee out here with me. Sue Ann's on the way. And you just rarely see the Make-A-Wish due to the garbage can, but we got the peepers going. And there's our front end. Now I did get, Kaylee, come on. Okay, come. Come on, Furface. Get in there. I did get a Scooby-Doo board plugged in on her so she'll trip. Oh, it must have been Sue doing it. Sue's right there, set dresser. But I got the puck down there. You step across and it triggers her. And I'm finding she's got 4 different sayings. And on the 4th saying, it only plays part of it and it cuts off. And it's with the board. The board's tripping a second time, turning her off. So, anyway, there's your nighttime look so far. Well, you saw the front end. And all the lights are aimed, so that's done. We got 3 areas done, basically. The 2 signs, the front end, and the entrance. And I've still got everything kind of lit up over here. I turned off T1 so the witch would shut off. I am going to have to mess around with that board a little bit, and I'll do it during the daylight. But the board is, for some reason, it's got 4 different buttons you can use to activate it on. I had it programmed originally for 3 and 4. And for buttons 3 and button 4. I said, well, I'm going to put the witch on number 1. So I reprogrammed it for number 1, triggered the witch, and then that's all it's supposed to do until the sensors tripped again. But for some reason, I let the program, run a little bit longer than normal. It's tripping about halfway through its allotment before, and then signaling again. So I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I think I know what's wrong with it. But I'm calling that done for now. I'll take a look at the board in the morning during the daylight. We're on in here to Gypsy. I am not going to get anything powered up in here tonight, but I do need, and this guy needs a haircut. Either that or his hair needs to be brought back into a ponytail or something. But he needs lights. Everything on the walls needs 2 spotlights. And it's going to be fun trying to get them on those. The candelabras back there in the corner. Because I don't want to have to move the table out to get back in there to do it. So I'm going to have to probably kind of get ingenious Instead, because what I normally do with these is I'll attach a spotlight here and a spotlight here and just point them down so both sides of the head get covered. On that one, for that one right there, I might attach the light over here and just have it shine that way, and then vice versa for this one over here. That way it's getting it right for the most part from the front. And those I can reach. But all the heads need 2 lights. The candelabras, they will each get 1 light. These candelabras, I might try lighting the same way, just by using 1 spotlight on each instead of putting 2 on like I normally do. The scrying bowl will get a small flood from the wall aiming down, and then I'll put a couple of more along on the fences to highlight upwards, give an upshot on them. The lamp here is causing me problems. The head does not want to sit where it's supposed to sit, and it keeps wanting to flop down. I got some Gorilla Tape on the back, and it keeps breaking loose from the middle. So I may have to get a little bit more ingenious. See, I want it sitting like that, but the Gorilla Tape keeps letting loose in the back, and it's not supposed to. But that, we'll get an upshot from the bottom, from the fencing, and the heads on either side. I'll probably hang a flood up there on the wall, aim down at the stove, and then do an upshot as well. And then the stuff on the table need to be highlighted. And in fact, the whole table will get a flood. I'm debating, this is one of my newer tents, of trying to get up top, up there in the crosshairs up there, and hanging stuff down to point down on it, you know, like a major flood, and then do some individual spots up there aimed down. I'm not too sure on that one. I'm going to have to check it and see if it'll work. Same thing with that. I need a general flood coming down, or I could just put some spots here on the fence and have them pointed up that way, and I'll light it up. You know, different colored spots for each shelf. Table here, I can attach spots up here aimed down to highlight that, and then maybe do a general flood to highlight everything. That ugly puss I'll do from the fence up. So, but there's a lot of lights in this display, and it's going to take a while to go through and get all the lights put in. You know, and then I have to turn around and try to wire them up. So if I can get the lights in tonight, then I can do the wiring tomorrow, and then we can be on into Spider over here, and I can start doing that stuff. So, and then Sue Ann can get in and do round 2 of the cobwebbing, which is the ceiling in there. But anyway, I got my work cut out for me. I don't know how long I'm going to stay out here. I'm feeling lazy tonight. I'm just happy to have that front end done. It took way longer than it should have been. Simply because I kept getting interrupted, people stopping and asking questions and what have you. So we got that done. Now I'm in darkness. I'm kind of silhouetted, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to grab some lights, and let's see where we can get. Alright, I ran into a problem that's going to cause me to quit for the night. I started hanging spots on the walls to highlight the stuff just on the walls. Made it all the way around over to that head. Now I was going to hop over there on the other side of the fence and do that stuff and get that done so I can move on to the next thing. My problem is, with these newer tents, the walls are actually taller than the tents. I've got to drill a hole into the member in the wall that runs right through here. And I got to drill a hole, screw through to get to the member to hold the light on. Problem is, the tent is here, top of my wall is up there, which means the light would be behind the tent and I wouldn't be able to angle it to hit the head. And I don't want to drill a hole through the tent with a screw and leave holes in the tent. It's one of my newer tents. I don't want to ruin the tent. So the only option, and I was planning on doing it for the table, is up there, those crosshairs. I can get a block of wood and put one on each of the crosshairs up there, and zip tie it on, and attach my light to that, and have it aimed down here at the heads. I can do it that way. Easy fix. Only problem is it's going about 8:30. My shop, while all the outlets on the table have power, my lights don't. And it's after 8:30, and I have to use my chop saw in order to cut my wood that I need for up there. And putting the wood up there gives me someplace to do for mounting the lights for the heads as well as for the table. So I'll be doing two things at once. But like I said, it's dark and it's late, so I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to do that. And I could work on doing the fencing and stuff, but right now my mind's hooked on doing the wall stuff and the top of the table. And I don't want to be jumping around, switching gears. Right now my mind's in one skill set. So we are going to call it quits early. And it's probably about 8:30. Kaylee and I just got done moving the truck. Yeah, Kaylee likes to move the truck. She's been pestering me and Mom to do that for a while now. So, we're going to put Gypsy on hold. We'll get in here, get the lights all mounted tomorrow, get them all wired, and we'll have Gypsy done tomorrow. That does curtail the spider display, though. I don't think I'll get very far on the spider tomorrow. The Gypsy takes a while not only to mount all the lights, but to also wire. Okay. Here we go. We'll just go with a red light on my face. That way you can see me. Problem is I can't see where I'm going. So we'll turn the white light on. Because I need to see where we're going here. I don't want to be tripping over fences. Kaylee just uses her nose and she gets right through. For me, I need a light in order to see. Now I can turn it off. But anyway, so we're going to call it quits for tonight. Tomorrow we'll get out here, get that wood cut, get it up on the crosshairs, and I'll continue on doing the lighting. And kind of go from there. So stay tuned for your end of the day wrap up. Pie of the day. Vanilla cream tort. Okay, Kaylee and I on the front porch. End of the day wrap up. Now I was just plugging along and I was getting into the rhythm and of hanging the lights over there. All I intended to do was get the lights hung tonight, and I was going to call it quits and do the wiring and stuff tomorrow. I've got two 12-volt lines and a 5-volt line I need to run over there to that display. And I figure with that and then having to wire up all the lights, I just save that for tomorrow. So I could say the hell with it and run the lines now, but I'd rather get my lights up and kind of have an idea of where things need to go, or where the lines need to go. As I told you in the last segment, that problem. I could go in and get the wood and stuff cut, but the only light I've got is that little headlight, for nighttime use. And I don't want to be messing around with a chop saw and measuring tapes and stuff like that. At night, trying to use a chop saw, not safe. Not when I'm tired anyway. Now that I'm sitting here, I do feel kind of wrung out. See, this is the type of stuff that happens when you're get started late in the day, as it is. You don't get quite as far as you intend. But we'll get that taken care of tomorrow, and I can get all my lights in, my mind will be clearer, and then we can get the wiring, get the Gypsy done. Gypsy will be done tomorrow. I've also got to get the air hose from the compressor out to the storage tank. I need to get that in and get the system charged so I can do the cups in there. Get those fired up and working. And, it's just, running airlines and stuff in the middle, when it's dark out. It's just not a good idea. You'll fuck something up royally. So again, something else for tomorrow. I'll get my wood cut tomorrow. I'll get the airline cut, first, or put in, first thing in the morning. And then I can get into doing lighting and control boards and everything else. So anyway, you got yourself a nighttime look at least. Front end's done, entrance hall's done. I still need to check that board. And I think I might go ahead and just move it over to switch 4 on that board and go from there. Take care of my problem that way. And then do a long, and that's the other thing too. Thinking about that board. When you put it into programming mode, it stops once the board is tripped. It won't fire again until the program currently running stops. What could be the problem is I'm not leaving the programming button on long enough to put a big enough gap in there for the witch to deliver her sayings. And the board is firing a second time in the middle of the saying, and when it's doing that, it's causing the witch to shut down. That could be it too. So we'll have to see. Because I know the sayings aren't more than about a minute to 2 minutes tops. And I think the thing will do a program for 2.5 minutes. So I could just max it out and it'd put a delay in that way. So it's not being tripped a lot. Which would be fine. But anyway, stay spooky, stay toxic.